fuck? We're still going fucking live? WTF. Okay, so we're live. All right. I think this is podcast number one. I think it's 123, right? Who knows what episode we're on? Who can tell me the last episode? I think I literally just, I think it's 123. I literally just heard it. It was setting goals. Podcast number 123. Oh, so we're on
Today
one.
we're going to be talking about setting goals.
We're on
I know a lot
124.
of people don't often set goals.
124 podcast episodes. Let's get it started. Drop your ones in the chat if you're ready to get started on the podcast, and we can get it going live in this motherfucker. Drop your ones in the chat. Let's go. Okay. Looking like an affirmative. All right, podcast number 124. Tonight we're going to be talking about some of the studies that I've come across that prove my methods to be correct. Like dealing with women, how I tell you guys to insert anxiety, how I tell you guys to do certain techniques when dealing with women. I'm just not talking about, things that were just from experience. There are studies to back up the things that I'm telling you. Now, this will be a very informative podcast. So much so that I was thinking about not keeping it on YouTube for you guys to see readily. Maybe this will be Patreon content, but for now, I will leave this up on Patreon. No, not on Patreon. I will leave this up on YouTube and on the Spotify podcast. Hit the link in the bio if you're not subscribed. But let's get into it. So let's get into the first one. Now, I did take notes on this, so I will be reading because this is factual shit. And this is very, very interesting. So let's get into it. So we know, of course, that women are emotional creatures, right? And they need emotions. They actually make a lot of decisions in their life based on emotions. And their emotions is usually a driving force for them. Now, in the case of woman being in relationships with a man, she expresses her emotions, right? Now, whether these emotions that man makes her feel, whether that be positive or negative, she is more likely to focus on this man, right? Because when a woman's feeling emotions for somebody, when she's heavily emotionally involved with somebody, he's going to be on the front of her mind. It's usually when a woman starts to lose feelings or she doesn't care about him as much or her attraction lowers, this man isn't on the front of her mind. And usually her mind starts to drive elsewhere, right? Now, research has what does that say? Research has she's a woman with more attracted to. All right, so research has showed that women that are more attracted to a man who makes them feel anxiety and uncertainty. So basically, the study that I'm about to read to you guys said that women who are they are more attracted to men who make them feel anxiety and uncertainty. Now, I guess that could be the other way around. That could work for men too. But the only thing is, women are definitely more emotional. They are definitely a little more emotional, and not to say that men aren't, because I do talk to a lot of you emotional motherfuckers on a daily basis, and it is very annoying. Very, very annoying. Now, why is this? So the University of Chicago put out a study and it stated that people are more likely to work harder for a reward and when that reward is uncertain as opposed to knowing. For example, um, you know, when when uh when you're talking to a girl, and this is an example, I can give you other examples, but and this is off the top of the head. I just read the study and I said this resonates with me so well. Now, for example, when you're talking to a girl and she doesn't know that she can have you, she doesn't know that she has you in the bag. Like, for example, if you go and tell a girl, oh, you're so beautiful, damn, baby, you bad, damn, I'm feeling you, damn, I'm really interested in getting to know you, right? In most cases, I'm not going to say in all, but in most cases, that doesn't work. Why? Because She knows that she has you. She knows that this is easy and it's guaranteed. But when you don't give that girl that certainty, when you don't give that girl, when you don't say, hey, when she doesn't know how she feels about you, when you're not always telling her how you feel, right? When you're not always validating her, right? When you don't express your emotions all the time, when you're not so relationship focused, there's a degree of uncertainty there. There's a degree of uncertainty there. Now that resonates with the study perfectly, you know. And it's like I see this all the time with guys, and one of the biggest mistakes that guys make is guys start talking to a girl, and when a guy first starts talking to a girl, one of the mistakes that they make is they let the girl know that he is completely interested in her. And not all the time does a guy even have to say it verbally, right? When when a girl always wants to hang out, and you're like always excited to hang out, you come at the snap of a finger or a snap of a dime. Don't you think that this girl knows that you like her? When you validate her and you say, "Oh, damn, that's a really nice, damn, you look really good. Oh, you look really nice." There's certainty there. When you tell, even, and then even to a degree, certainty starts to ruin a relationship. When the girl's like, oh, when you're like, oh, well, I love you no matter what. I always love you. And you're always giving her the certainty, things get a little boring. I'm telling you, I see it all the time. I talk to guys on a daily basis, right? Oh, I know he ain't going nowhere. Oh, he ain't going nowhere, girl. Yeah, I got him on lock. He loved me. He loved this, right? When a girl knows that you're obsessed with her, she knows you're not going anywhere. So you're giving that certainty. And now when you don't give that certainty to a female and she doesn't know exactly what's going on, that increases attraction. The study proved it itself. And when a woman doesn't know where you stand with them exactly, they are more likely to work harder for your validation. When you don't give that girl a relationship, especially one of the biggest mistake guys make when they start talking about relationships and they say, "Oh, I just spoke to a guy the other was it yesterday, and the guy was like how he was speaking to this girl, he was using my techniques, and he said everything was working perfectly until he made a mistake, and he voiced that he wanted to have a future with her, and he said that I have everything planned out, and I'm really focused on this relationship. I want this to work. I'm gonna buy a house for us. We're gonna meet up in Vietnam, and she lives in Australia, and then." He was like, I have a house for us. I have everything planned out. All of a sudden, her attraction dwindled. She said, don't come to Vietnam. Don't come to Australia. I don't want to see you. Yeah, we're done. And this is a girl he's been talking to for almost all year. As soon as he started to become relationship focused and she had 100% certainty, what happened? Her attraction decreased at like such a rapid pace that she said, I don't even want to fuck with you no more. Ugh. She said, "Oh, like what? A relationship? You care about me? You you, you want a what? You want a house together? You want a future? What? You want to make an honest woman out of? Oh hell no! You tripping?" And as soon as he did that, she was like, "Oh, I can't do this. The the honor. This man trying to honor me? They trying to treat me with respect? Oh hell no! I can't have that." And I told him his mistake. But the study where the University of Chicago said and stated that people are more likely to work harder for a reward when it is uncertain. When it is uncertainty, as opposed to knowing. That makes perfect sense. Women get turned off so easily. I've heard women say that, oh yeah. I was just on TikTok. I was a video with Cardi B, and she's like, yeah, I like guys, and I like guys that treat me nice until things get boring. And then I need a little drama in my life. I've heard girls say, oh, when I know I can have them, it's too easy. I don't even want it no more. Because you give these girls certainty. Stop it. This is free game. And I'm telling you from the facts. These are studies that were conducted by universities, by colleges. All right. Now, what we got here now happens here is you're putting. All right. So now what happens here, and when you're not giving girls certainty, You're putting that woman in an uncomfortable situation. Now, this will make her focus on you more. How is this going to make her focus on you more? Because when she reflects back on why she's feeling so anxious and why she has this level of anxiety, she's going to focus on the source of her discomfort. And who is the source of her discomfort? You are. You're the source of her discomfort. If you're not giving her certainty, you're implementing anxiety. She doesn't know whether she's going to be with you. She doesn't know where she stands with you. She doesn't understand what's going on. So when I have videos on Patreon, right, and I tell guys to implement anxiety in your relationship, you need highs and lows. She doesn't need to know where you stand with her exactly. She doesn't need to know, at least not right away. So, and I see this, these are the guys who have success versus the guys who don't. The guys who I tell to do a certain thing and they don't listen, these are the guys who fail. The guys who I tell to implement a level of anxiety and they give that girl uncertainty and they're not sure where they stand, they have success in their relationships. It's as clear as day. It's some of the easiest things to do in the world. Well, unless once you have knowledge of it, because the key to keeping her and the key for you is highs and lows. But the key to keeping her thinking about you, the key to staying on the front of her mind is not giving certainty. You cannot give certainty. What is certainty? Oh, I'll never leave you no matter what. Damn, I love you. I can't wait to get in a relationship with you. How do you feel about me? Oh, I like you. I'm feeling you, baby. I'm trying to get with you. I'm trying to be in a relationship with you. I'm trying to do everything possible. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling you. I want to wife you up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I'm just waiting on you. Oh, this nigga boring. That's corny. That's so corny. Corny. Versus if she says, oh, how do you feel about me? I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. I think you're beautiful. I think you look good. But looks aren't everything. So, I'm not 100% sure as to as to how as to how I feel about you. So when you do these things, you are giving her a level of uncertainty. And I've even had girls complain to me, and I see guys all the time with it. Girls will say, "Oh, I need that level of certainty. I need that level of comfort. I need that the favorite word. I need that level of security." That's their key word. I need that level of security. I need to know that you're going to be with me. I need to know that like we have something special, right? And this is why girls, when you don't give them a relationship and you've been talking to them for a while, they say, "Oh, I want a relationship. I need to know everything is going to be better in a relationship," because she thinks she has that security. But even in a relationship, you need to tell her before you get into that relationship, you set boundaries. You set boundaries. You say, "Listen, yeah, I'll be with you, but if you gain a little weight, you got a few months to lose that weight and get back to that person that I'm attracted to. Are we gonna have a problem in our relationship? I can't guarantee you that I'm gonna be with you forever." If she says, "Oh, will you love me forever?" Maybe. What do you mean, maybe? Well, if you cheat on me, I'm not gonna fucking love you forever. If you start disrespecting me and treating me and talk to me in ways that I don't like, I'm not gonna be with you forever. If you fail to do the things that first attracted to you in the beginning, you think maybe I won't love you forever. You cannot give that level of certainty. I see it all the time. The guys who give that level of certainty, when they give it to her, the girl starts to lose attraction. And then she knows that she can have you, and that she knows that you ain't going nowhere. And usually what you start to see in relationships, when guys are with certain girls and they're with them long term, this girl starts to gain a whole bunch of weight. She starts to get disgusting and all types of big, and just looking at, and he just accepts her, and she's comfortable with that. She's comfortable with that. Why is she comfortable with that? Because your silly ass told her, "Oh, I would love you forever no matter what, baby. No matter what. This is a forever thing." No, the fuck it's not. I'm not saying that if I'm dating a girl, if I'm married, If my wife gains weight, that I'm gonna leave her. No, I'm saying, listen, baby, we gotta get to it. We gotta get in the gym. Oh wow, so you don't love me for who I do. And who you were was a 30 pounds lighter when we first got together. So I need your ass to get in the gym. Let's go. Now, if she refuses and doesn't listen, and I'm telling her what I'm attracted to, and she is failing to keep her relationship alive and failing to keep her man there, it's not gonna work. You ever see that fucking the clip with Magic Johnson? He's like, I'm not gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not. It's the truth, and that's a problem. You guys give all this certainty in a relationship, and ultimately you're not being real. You guys feel as if you gotta lie to her. You gotta lie to her to keep her. No, fuck all that. And that's where y'all be going wrong. Stop lying to that girl, because you setting these unrealistic false narratives for your relationship that cannot be maintained. It's unreal. It's unreal. Now, this is why guys who they play it safe, they usually fail in relationships, right? And those are the guys that usually fall into the friend zone. Why do the guys fall into the friend zone? Because they're so easy. They're on Front Street. Another guy, I had like 5 calls yesterday. Another guy I spoke to yesterday. This motherfucker tells me, he was like, yo, so I was talking to this girl. What he said she worked in a store near his, and he came and talking to her. She had a boyfriend at the time. Long story short is she got rid of her boyfriend. He started talking to her. He was talking to her for a while, talking about 2 to 3 months. And then one day she just stops responding to him and doesn't speak to him for 3 days. And he's like, oh, damn, what happened to you? She was like, oh, my phone service was cut off. I'm like, come on, you believe that? And he's like, damn, like, you don't talk to me no more. And his emotions, complaining. And he made it very obvious that he wanted her. Then he comes to me and asks me, hey, KB, how can I fix this situation? Not doing what you're doing. So you're telling me you've been talking to this girl for about 2 to 3 months. And you've been, every time she asks you to hang out, you hang out with her. And then he also said, when she gets upset and he says something that she doesn't like, she will ignore him until he comes back pandering and kissing her ass and talking to her again. So you're not polarizing this relationship. You're giving all your non-sexual attention and not getting any exchange for sexual attention, right? So he's giving her all this attention, and now he's falling into the friend zone unknowingly. Double texting her because she's mad. You're doing all of this, and he ain't never got a kiss out of her. Because he wanted to what? He wanted to play it safe. He wanted to respect her boundaries. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And then he gave her all the certainty in the world, speaking to her every day, talking to her every day, hanging out with her when she wants to hang out, going with her to the movies, dropping everything he has to do to come hang out with her. So she knows she can have him. And then he failing to polarize. He double texting, triple texting until she's happy again to talk to him. And he's just happy with anything. Why? Because he's playing it safe. There's no level of uncertainty there. And there's no highs and lows. Remember, the key to any long distance relationship is not only space, but highs and lows. Highs and lows. It must be implemented. Okay. Now, let's get to another fact. A study in the Journal of Applied, what was it? A study in the Journal of Applied Social Psychology said that women who invest in men by taking more risk will value that relationship more than if they have taken no risk. So basically, women who take risk in relationship, women who basically invest, most likely will fall in love or be able to, take that relationship a lot more serious. So what are some risks that women take in relationships? Having unprotected sex. That's a big risk, right? Because one, if she's talking to a guy, you don't know if this man has STDs or not. But that's not even the most of your worries. If you're not 100% familiar with this guy, what if you get pregnant, right? What if you get pregnant? You don't know if she's on birth control or not unless you ask. But what if she gets pregnant and this guy decides that, oh, you were just a pump and dump. I don't want to talk to you no more. Now she's facing the risk of not only being pregnant, but being a single mother, not having any security to take care of her child, no help to take care of her child, right? Now, I know we got a lot of strong and independent women, but the point is, that's not a risk that you want to take. That's not a risk you want to take. So, if you could get a woman to take risk like that, that's something that she can invest in. Traveling to come and see you when she barely knows you like that, buying you things, having her invest in you, you know, you know, and these are the type of things that most guys don't do, especially at the beginning. Y'all ain't having her taking no risk. Not only y'all taking risks, y'all falling into the friend zone because you want to respect her boundaries, which is some craziness. Craziness. Now, what does this one say? Now, another study. How long does it take a woman to fall in love? I've said this before because I kind of got this one down pat. Now, now in the Journal of Psychology, it showed over 100 participants, of men and women, and the study was how long it took for an individual to fall in love. Now, amongst the study, it said it took men a few days, only a few days to a few weeks to fall in love. A few days to a few weeks to fall in love. Now, as far as women, it took them about 2 to 3 months to fall in love. Now, these are things that I said on Patreon. And I said it usually takes 2 to 3 months to build the type of attachment that you would need. Now, there are a lot of other things that you can do to rebuild that attachment that I'll maybe make a Patreon video after this for, that I just can't mention on here because one is sauce is just reckless shit too. And that's also a part of some dark game. But this is a clear example that guys shouldn't rush things. You shouldn't rush things with females. You really shouldn't. Now, when I say it takes a woman about 2 to 3 months to fall in love, that may not be for every woman. Remember, there's always exceptions to every situation. There's always exceptions to every situation. So some women may fall in love a lot faster, some men may fall in love a lot faster or take a lot longer. But on average, this is what that study had produced. And I believe it. I believe it. I believe it because I speak to guys all day, every day. Not all day, maybe, but a good part of my day is spent talking to guys. So I'm continuously seeing these same scenarios over and over and over and over. And most men are going through the same things, right? And this is something that I'm seeing, that guys, they try to do what the woman tells them, like applying pressure, like, oh, pressing for a relationship or trying to what. And if you're on Patreon, you already know I tell guys, you never ask for a relationship. You never ask for a relationship. Never. She should be begging you for that shit if that's something she really wants. And this is why you shouldn't rush into those type of things. This is what I tell. Listen, even when I was in high school, I didn't wife a girl until like after like 5 to 6, 7 months. That's always been my deal. Why? Because one, I have an abundance mindset. So I've always been talking to a lot of girls, even from a young age. Like, it's like, damn, I don't want to get locked down yet because there's so many other girls out there and I'm messing with so many girls. It's like, it's a fun thing. And, so that was something that I never did naturally. So when they're talking about, oh, apply pressure and do this. Now, we know that shit doesn't work. But like I said, there's always exceptions. Now, like, say if you're talking to a girl who doesn't have a lot of options, say if you're talking to a girl who is maybe not so attractive, maybe you're talking to a girl who's morbidly obese and maybe not that cute, and she's not used to having a lot of options, showing her this type of attention, showing her this type of affection, that may work for her. Maybe a girl who has extreme insecurities, right? maybe this may work for that girl. Remember, there's always exceptions and there's always explainable reasons for certain things. A lot of girls will say, oh, yeah, if a guy don't do that to me, I'm done with him. Shut up. Shut up. I'm tired of hearing it. Oh, if a guy do that to me, I'ma just leave him. This is why I tell guys you need to build that attachment first, right? Because after that 2 to 3 months, and even studies are showing that it usually where that grace period to women start to fall in love. And I say there's a lot of techniques you should be doing in this time on Patreon. I put that to make that attachment. And once you build that attachment, it's a wrap. You got it wrapped around your finger. She ain't going nowhere, especially if you do what you got to do right, if you gamer, right? As I always tell guys. Now, in the European Journal of Personality, said that people that are less available are seen as having more overall value, even if it's perceived, if it's a perceived thing. They're seen as having over more value and seen as more attractive, even if it's a perceived thing. So what that means is, even if you're faking the funk, right? Even if like, say for example, this is what I tell a lot of guys who are not actually on their purpose, like guys that I actually tell them to get on their purpose and do their thing. But the guys that are not on their purpose, they go home, they go to work and they go home and just play video games. I say, well, you know what? Play your video game more. Tell your girl that you work more hours, or go out with your friends somewhere. Go out to a bar after work. Stay there for extra 2 to 3 hours. Maybe bar hop for a little bit. Tell her you're working more hours at work and you can't answer your phone and you got busier, and tell her you got a higher position, right? Now it's perceived that this person is less available. It's perceived that this person has more value now, even if he's faking the funk. But somebody who actually has value, if you're actually on your purpose and actually getting money and doing your thing and living the life that you're supposed to and want to live, you're on your purpose. So when you have and show this type of value, you are deemed more attractive. When you're on your purpose and you're less available, you are deemed more attractive. This is why at one point in time, when I had like a fucking 8 or 9, 10 girl rotation, I would give these girls minimal attention. I'm just genuinely a busy person. It's not necessarily what I'm doing now, but I'm genuinely a busy person. So I'm working out most of my day. Come home I've been doing a podcast. I'm on my 3rd year now. I've been doing a podcast, right? And then I'm producing videos on Patreon. I'm speaking to clients. Even at its inception, I've always been super busy. When I had a job, even when I had a job and I'm working on starting a business so I don't have to work my job, I'm super busy. And I put these priorities first. I make sure I put my purpose first. So when I'm not so always readily available, a lot of girls may complain about it, right? And they may complain about it when it's a little too late, after like 2 months, when the attachment's already built, and they say, you know what, maybe this isn't working out. I maybe we should just stop talking. And you know how I give it up. So I say, you know what, I respect your decision. That's not something they expected. That's not something they expected to let them walk away. They didn't expect that. So when that happens, even though it was just a power play, it was a power play for the dynamics to shift, to see if I care that much to actually chase, then what happens? They come back chasing even more, and they come back in a lower position, because now I know how they really feel. Now I know that they really want me, and they were faking the funk. Me, I'm genuinely busy. So now she tried to do that bullshit, but I'm still going to be busy at the end of the day. And my value is perceived as higher. And I'm deemed more attractive, right? Because anything like the previous study, right? And the University of Chicago, when they put out the study, it said that people are more likely to work harder for rewards that are uncertain. I'm not giving these girls any certainty. All these studies correlate with each other. Because I'm not giving her any study, any time, because I'm busy and I'm perceived as more value, more higher value, because I'm less available, right? Which is the Journal of Personality, that study said, and it correlates with the study produced by the University of Chicago, where it said people will work harder for an uncertain goal. So I'm busy, I'm not so readily available. Now this girl, she figures that she wants me, So now she's starting to do some bullshit just to get my attention. And now she finds herself working harder for my attention. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Now I can have her take more risk. Come out and see me. Travel to see me. I don't care how many miles. Travel an hour to come see me. Oh, I hate these condoms. Let's lose them. Take some risk. Now, this is a podcast that you guys should listen to more than once. This is immaculate sauce, because not only will you guys not question my methods if you're on Patreon, you not only will you not question them, you will understand them. You will understand them. We're going to end this podcast off. Guys, hit the link in the bio, subscribe to Patreon. Get your source right. It's not expensive. Very cheap. Book a private consultation. Now you guys can see we got the new fisherman shades. The fisherman is a little small on these, but these will be up soon. If you want to speak, book a private consultation. Text 516-500-7906. Speak to my assistant. That is not me. You will not be speaking to me. You will be speaking to my assistant. If you want to book a private consultation, text 516-500-7906. Okay? You're not speaking to me once again. And consultations are not free. Don't think you're going to text me and try to book a consultation and be like, oh, well, here's the price and the money. And hello. It ain't like that. But anyway, guys, we're going to end this podcast off. Make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast. Spotify podcast, link will be in the bio. Make sure you guys subscribe to YouTube. Subscribe to Patreon. Very well worth the money. And make sure you guys follow me on TikTok and follow me on Instagram. You know, I do have some backup pages, but follow me everywhere so you can keep up with the content, especially YouTube. I feel like if you're a smart person, you can subscribe to YouTube and you can put the shit together and you'll be good. Shit really only get complicated when you're like in a relationship and you might mess up on something. So then you might need to reach out with it for advice. But the type of sauce that I put on here, if you're talking relationships specifically, this shit is like, I wish I had somebody putting this type of stuff out so I could listen to it. I can't find it. Even when I first started listening to the whole red pill stuff, I listened to AMS a lot because I liked AMS. But I was already doing a lot of the things that he was saying naturally. I'm naturally on my own before I even knew what red pill was, right? I was already doing a lot of those things. But then there was a lot of things that he said that I didn't agree with. There were some things that he said that I wish he expanded on more. And you know, he's a country motherfucker. So it's like, I feel like it's hard to understand him sometimes. But he's a very smart guy, nothing against him. But anyway, guys, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, subscribe to Patreon, subscribe to the podcast. The podcast is free. All right. Anyway, guys, we're out of here. I'm going to end this off everywhere. And thank you for joining. DM me if you got questions.